First in high definition. Live, local, late breaking. This is WNBF News Today at 5.
Fewer drunk drivers are getting behind the wheel, but now a new type of problem is showing up, the dangers we all face when sharing the road.
7 people arrested and connected to a dogfighting ring in our area. Now, what one local shelter is doing to try and find one of the dogs saved from there, a loving home.
And state lawmakers want to put a lid on litter bugs. We're going to tell you about a brand new plan that would put violators on the cleanup crew.
Then we may not know what a heart-healthy diet is, but our kids sure will. The push from schools to get our children eating better.
But first, let's get you out the door on this Monday morning. We are mostly clear across the Grand Strand, but that's not going to last long. Notice these clouds starting to push in. Thicker cloud cover out across the upstate. This cloud cover is eventually going to lend itself to some rainfall. Notice some spotty showers just now moving across northern Georgia and edging their way into the Carolinas. I'll let you know when that rain makes it into our neck of the woods coming up in just a bit. But for now, notice 55 in Myrtle Beach, a fairly mild start to the day along the coast. 46 in Conway and 49 in Florence with 50 in Lumberton. Temperatures today, not too bad. In fact, getting into the 60s, but we will be dealing with rain for your PM drive. I'll let you know where coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Marla. 5:01 is your time. Drugs, gambling, stolen property, and a dogfighting ring were all discovered in Georgetown County. We've been following this story ever since it first broke, when the first suspects were arrested back in January. Now, with all 7 suspects facing charges, the focus shifts to rehabilitating a rescued dog. Katrina Helmer joins us live from the St. Francis Animal Shelter. Katrina, this dog was once a vicious fighter, but now is it safe to adopt?
With extra attention, yes, she is very safe, and I want to show you why. This is Jordan. She is the sole survivor from that dog fighting ring, and all the time I've spent with her, you would never imagine that she was trained to fight.
I know for a fact that they are lovers, not fighters.
As you walk through the rows of dogs at the St. Francis Animal Shelter, you're greeted by a lot of barking, jumping, and wagging. But down near the end of the line is Jordan, calm and quiet. It's hard to believe on January 28th she was rescued from a dogfighting ring in Georgetown County.
The sport of dogfighting is one of those that they literally train these animals to destroy other dogs. And the injuries that result from dogfighting are generally so severe that the animals don't survive.
That was the case for the other dog brought in from the raid. The dog suffered a severe back break and was in excruciating pain. The shelter vets made the decision to put the dog down.
Hey, sweetie. Hi. Jordan. Hey, baby, what are you looking at?
There's a misconception that once a dog is involved in a dog fighting ring, then it must be put down. But that's not always the case. As long as the dog passes behavior and temperament tests, it's allowed to be adopted. When it comes to Jordan, shelter leaders are working to rehabilitate her. They monitor her in different stressful environments to see if she shows any aggression towards things like food, other animals, or people.
Lots of times they cannot be around other animals, but they can be rehabilitated in homes that they are primarily the only animal there. But they're not all doomed. They can be rehabilitated.
Now the hope here is that as the judicial process unfolds, Jordan will be able to be adopted out. But it really is all up to the courts at this point. As you can tell, she's very happy and playful. And if she is allowed to be adopted out, then they'll want to make sure she goes to a home where she is the only dog for the family. Reporting live in Georgetown, Katrina Helmer, WNBF News.
Now to a developing story out of Iraq. At least 12 people are dead, 25 injured following what officials are calling a suicide attack in northern Baghdad. A police officer says the attacker set off an explosive vest early in the morning in a busy square near commuters. No one claimed responsibility for the attack, but it resembles tendencies of the Islamic State extremist group, which controls a third of Iraq and Syria and frequently launches attacks targeting Iraq's majority Shiites. Keeping on top of this for you at the live desk this morning, Mandy Knoll, back to you guys.
Mandy, thank you for that. Okay, you've probably passed the Meher Baba Spiritual Center 1,000 times and not even known it. Those who have noticed this 500-acre spot right there along the Grand Strand oceanfront may wonder whether something sinister is going on behind the gates. Well, we did too. For the first time in 30 years, the Spiritual Center has allowed news cameras on the grounds, no rules. Just an unprecedented look inside one of the most mysterious properties in all of South Carolina. The center's namesake is a self-proclaimed avatar, a spiritual leader with a direct connection to God. But those who run the center insist there is nothing sinister here.
It's unusual, and people would find it uncomfortable to contemplate that, because it is unusual. He's from India, after all. He's not from the South, and he's not a Christian per se. And so that's unusual in itself. And that we don't really spread his name, I guess could be suspect. But we don't, because we feel that love is its own message.
Intriguing, isn't it? Tonight at 6, take a personal tour of the Meher Baba Spiritual Center and decide for yourself whether what goes on there is something to fear or simply the love of a different philosophy of life. My exclusive report coming your way tonight on WMBF News at 6.
A man accused of going into a child's room many times and touching her inappropriately while she was sleeping is facing charges. 45-year-old Rafael Garcia is charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. Myrtle Beach police say that Garcia was caring for the girl when the incident happened in May of last year. A trial date for Garcia has not been set. And in Darlington County, 25-year-old Brian Talbot and his girlfriend Tina Segui have been charged with 2 counts of unlawful neglect of a child. Police say they arrived at St. John Street after the girlfriend had reported her 14-year-old daughter missing. Her daughter was found a short time later unharmed, but during their investigation, they found that the teenager and her 7-year-old brother were living in filthy conditions. Officers say the house was covered with dog feces in every room and trash was everywhere.
In South Carolina, work is underway to prevent litter across the Palmetto State. A bill has now passed the House. It goes to the Senate. It creates a commission made up of state agencies and other groups that will come up with a plan to reduce littering and enforce our current litter laws. The bill would also require that trash be picked up before grass along roadways is ever mowed. And for those of you caught littering, the court could actually sentence you to pick up litter as a community service on top of any fines. And it's expected to be another record year for the $18 billion tourism industry here in South Carolina. Industry leaders say the lowest gas prices in years and a healthy economy should help that. The tourism has also been bolstered by more direct flights from South Carolina cities to major cities around the nation. This will also be a topic at the annual Governor's Conference on Tourism and Travel. That's happening right here in Myrtle Beach starting today. They're going to talk about how to get more people to visit the Palmetto State.
Well, new this morning, the campaign to fight drunk driving is making our roads safer, but the use of marijuana behind the wheel is on the rise. That's according to a study from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. It found that the number of drivers with alcohol in their system has fallen 30% since 2007. In that same survey, researchers discovered the number of drivers using marijuana or other drugs grew by nearly 50% last year. Bill Cosby facing more accusations this morning. Former fashion model Helen Selby claims Cosby had her sit on her couch in his dressing room, handed her a drink, and then stood in front of her with his private parts in her face. Selby says it happened on the set of The Cosby Show. The 77-year-old comedian faces sexual assault accusations from at least 15 women. He has denied those accusations and has never been charged with a crime.
5:08 right now. You know, many of us still confused about what it really means to eat a heart-healthy diet.
That's why the American Heart Association has come up with a unique way of putting kids on the right path to good health. Dr. Bruce Hensel explains new at 5.
Anybody know what this is? This is cilantro, right?
You wouldn't expect 5th graders to recognize cilantro on sight or to get excited about making fruit and vegetable smoothies. But if you want heart-healthy adults, the American Heart Association says teach kids how to make heart-healthy meals early. So they sent Chef Bryce Llewellyn into the classroom to teach young students that healthy can be tasty.
So they start to become conscious of the different tastes in their palate, and they know that everything doesn't have to be just sugar, fat, and salt.
Instead, they're substituting sugar for cilantro and candy for cucumbers.
We have fruits, we have vegetables, we have almond milk.
During these 90-minute weekly sessions, the kids learn to cook healthy, and they don't seem to miss the junk.
It tastes good because it makes my body stronger and it makes you live a longer life.
The new survey shows confusion over diet may prevent that. This program clears up the confusion and helps kids build healthy habits that can last a lifetime.
They'll be able to make their own healthy meal on their own, or at least have some skills that will help them build upon doing that in the future.
That's a big challenge in low-income neighborhoods where many families don't get fresh produce or it's too expensive. But the chef says even small diet changes make a big difference later. 9-year-old Keona agrees.
We eat the healthy stuff that he's telling us to eat, and the fruits and vegetables. We'll live a healthy life for a long time.
Well, speaking of food, Breyers has made changes to its ice cream. The company announced it's now using only milk and cream made without artificial growth hormones. Breyers says they made the change after hearing from parents that it was important to them. The Breyers brand will also begin using vanilla from sourced and Rainforest Alliance certified vanilla beans from Madagascar.
Probably still doesn't qualify for a heart-healthy diet, does it? And for those of you looking for work, job fairs in Myrtle Beach at the Tanger Outlet Centers are happening all this week. You'll be able to apply Friday and Saturday. On both days, the fair will last from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the outlets on both Highway 501 and 17. Many stores will be looking to fill full-time, part-time, even seasonal positions at all skill levels.
The Powerball jackpot is now at $450 million. That's after no winner for the drawing this weekend happened. You still have time to buy tickets before Wednesday's drawing. Tickets are $2. Remember, you can catch the winning numbers right here before WNBF News at 11 Wednesday night.
It's a case of Facebook being used for all the wrong reasons. Gang members post video of a violent crime for attention, and they get it from police. Details still ahead.
And we'll have a pretty warm day ahead. I'm helping you and the kids prepare before heading out the door in my First Alert forecast.
Down this road, behind